It's finally sunny today. It's been really cold here, or at least relatively cold here. It was 19 last night. But it's been chilly and rainy for several days. One of the biggest things I've had to work through was social anxiety. And it's like, yeah, sure did. Stepped in something. Well, I thought I was like, I smell something. I walk my dogs at lunch, so it happens. Yeah, well, anyway. Of course, what I found was you can't make it go away. I mean, it's not just going to vanish immediately and you'll be fine one day. But I just walked through it. You know, I used to let it control me. And I always pulled myself in and hid and tried not to talk. Told myself I didn't know what to say. And relating to my friend that this channel is devoted to, keeping myself small so I didn't have to, less likelihood of outright rejection, even though I would still find it because I was always looking for it. Come here, sweetie, go around, don't go that way, you get tangled up. Come here, come around this way. And I have gotten to the point, thankfully, where I know that that's all not true. So I know it's all crap. There's no truth to it unless I give it truth, and I'm not anymore. I'm not giving it meaning anymore. I'm not listening to it anymore. It's still there. It's not as loud usually, but sometimes it gets loud again. You know, and I had a situation recently where I was putting myself into a situation that in the past I would never have put myself in. And not realizing I had not horrible expectations, but I had expectations, which is not helpful. But not realizing that, of course, till today. I think I just got something on my finger. Anyway, I need a real stick. Anyway, so that situation didn't end up the way I expected. Shocking. But, and Mark, me feeling all those old thoughts, my mind started afterwards. Now, granted, I had no issues during the scenario. I was having a great time. I didn't sense any problems, really. Well, problems are only what we say are problems, but I didn't feel like anything was off or whatever, causing me to pause, whatever. But afterwards, as per my track record, the thoughts started. There wasn't this type of response. There wasn't this type of action or comment from whomever I was engaging with. So my mind immediately starts pointing out things that I probably did wrong. I was too loud, talked too much. Maybe I didn't listen enough. I'm just too much. I was too crazy. Really, every little teeny action I took, my mind was ready to go. And I recognized all of it. I mean, I thought all those things before and just fucking believed them immediately, 100%. That's me. Therefore, I will not do these things again. I will stay in my home. I will hide from people, and I will prevent this from happening to me as much as I can. Well, that was my life pattern. But I sit here today, it's been a year, December 2nd, that everything changed for me. And I sit here a little over a year later. This time last year, I was still listening to my ego that was, in my thoughts a lot, that I was learning a lot of things about myself and receiving some insights, and I sit here today and all those things are there still, like the thoughts and things that always generated are there. They're there because my experience is being filtered through all the other experiences I had where that's what I perceived and believed at the time. So that experience that I was in recently was immediately filtered through that, because in all my past experiences, it was always my fault. If someone didn't seem to accept me, it was my fault. It was something about me that I needed to change, or I needed to just not put out there in the world, or whatever. But that's what it always was. So when my mind started last night, you have to remember your mind's really a computer with the only data, and the only data that's in it is the data that's been put in it since you were born, which are your experiences and your thoughts about them, and your feelings about them, and what you've assigned certain feelings to mean, and what you've assigned all these things to mean because you did all that. Even if it's a general meaning that was provided by society and you adopted it, it's still applied. It's not innate. Nothing has an innate meaning like in the universe, like this is what this particular thing means. It doesn't exist. Every meaning is applied or adopted, made up, essentially. And that doesn't mean you can't apply meanings that are something positive and pleasant for you. I'm just saying they, whatever they are, they're generated, and they can be as real as you want them to be. As much as you believe in them and live by them, then that's up to you. But when they are not productive, which many are not, then like the situation I'm describing, what I would do right now is I would not interact with anyone, and I would just keep to myself, and I would go back to doing things to just entertain myself, and always feeling left out, but self-imposed, because I was listening to my mind just repeat all the things that I've believed my whole life about myself, which is that I'm not good enough, cool enough, smart enough, cute enough, talk about the right things enough, smart enough, I don't know. So that's what that last experience was filtered through, but I am able to not become that now. I see it. I feel those feelings, because feelings are a thing, and they just, you have feelings. You give meanings to them, and then that's what that feeling automatically evokes until you question it. Hey, listen, you've got a leaf in your vest. Sorry, bud. But I know, somebody went in the house, they're already gone. Anyway, so I'm trying to get to. Anyway, I'm sitting here today saying, yes, I still feel those feelings. My mind still does the same old associations to those. What I will not do is just buy that and alter what I'm going to do next based on it, because I can't, and I don't want to. I don't have to. It's a choice. Because I know that although I see that, all those old things, I still see them, they're still not as loud, and I'm still separate from them. They're not me. It's like I may feel a feeling that reminds me of anxiety. I may feel a feeling that reminds me of how I used to label that feeling as being less than, but I'm not that. I know that I'm not less than. I know that I'm not that feeling. It's like if I feel a feeling that reminds me of sadness, I don't have to become sadness. I don't have to sit here for days and days lamenting and ruminating over this one scenario, questioning my worth as a person and what I may or may not have done. The most recent time that it happened to this degree, it took me weeks to even just get past thinking about it all the time. Well, and I wasn't doing much then at all anyway, and I certainly wasn't going to do more at that time, but it took me weeks because that was me, and I kept thinking about it, so I kept prolonging it, not realizing it, and of course, 2 or 3 weeks of my life gone because I'm questioning myself because some interaction didn't meet my expectations of validation I didn't necessarily know I was consciously seeking, and then when I didn't get that validation, or in the way that I interpreted it, that I interpreted as not getting it, or interpreted it as whatever, then you get upset and question your entire self-worth, and it's bullshit. And my friend really helped me today because I didn't realize I had expectations in this situation. I don't have a lot of expectations anymore. I realize the danger of that. Everything is just what it is. It's never going to meet an expectation. There's always room there. There can be no expectations. Everything is as it is, and it's perfect as it is. So whatever happens, happens. There's no need for expectations. Expectations lead to disappointment. Anyway, I'm rambling, and I know this is 12 minutes, but I just want to say that you just have to walk through it, not believe those things because they're not true. And the longer you do it, they get less loud. And to make the point that it's been a year later and I've made so much progress as far as not holding myself in and being myself more, which is the prime goal for all of us, is to be 100% who we are and do what 100% gives us joy. And it's been a year and I still have those thoughts sometimes that caused me to pull in and hide and question myself as far as worth. But even a year later, still having those, I know, one, I haven't lost my insight. None of that has happened. I haven't regressed or went backwards or lost anything. That's what life is. The main thing is that I see it, and also that I have other versions of me around me that help me reflect it and see it for what it is. So it's not me, and I'm not going to pull in, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to just try to keep being myself and sharing things when they feel like it's a time to be shared. And my friend shared something with me this morning that really just helped, but basically I'm not going to repeat it because I don't know how copyright things work, and I'm not trying to steal anything from anybody, but basically it was basically, if a situation is, if someone is, let's just say, if someone is this type of person that you feel like is too much for you, then that's your problem. Go find someone you can tolerate, but it's not that person's problem. That person is being themselves as much as they can, most likely, and that's what we all should do. And there is nothing else that person should be doing, despite anyone's reaction, is to just be themselves. And you can't be yourself and want to hurt others. It doesn't work that way, and I don't even worry about that. Because when you're truly being authentic, there's nothing really there but love. And if it feels like there's anything else, then those are thoughts, and there's that's something else. But I truly, for me, I know that when I'm really acting from what excites me and what makes me feel authentic, that there is nothing but love. It's like there's nothing, there's no room for anything else. And that's when you can look at a situation, and instead of becoming it and sinking into some kind of pit, to look at it because it's right there. All those old feelings are right there. All that insecurity is right here beside of me. It's not me. And it's never going to be me again. And I know it often sounds easier said than done, but it doesn't have to be for anybody. If I can find my way out of that, anybody can. And I know that. So if you're being yourself, you're adding to the world all that you possibly could, and the most important thing. And anyone that perhaps just seems unable to handle that, then they can go find something else they can handle. You keep going, because that's where true happiness and peace is. Despite what's going on anywhere, that's where it's at. Thank you, friend.